speaker is Dr. Sneha Jain, and her topic will be retained encapsulated caterpillar hair, a rare presentation of panuveitis.
A very good morning. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to thank the scientific committee to allow me to present. This is not a case series, it's just a single case presentation. So it's a retained encapsulated caterpillar hair, a rare presentation of uveitis. I have no financial disclosure. Ophthalmia nodosa is a term which denotes inflammatory reaction to insect hairs. So although the ocular surface involvement is common, posterior segment involvement is relatively rare and can occur early or even years after the initial presentation. So here we report a delayed vitreoretinal involvement of caterpillar hair presenting with persistent vitritis and macular edema, which does respond to surgical removal of the setae. So we have a 30-year female who came to us with a progressive dimness of vision in the right eye for the last 4 months. She was suffering for the past 18 months with recurrent attacks of redness and pain and was relieved with topical drugs. But for the last 4 months prior to the presentation, she had a similar attack, but this time it was accompanied by deterioration of vision, and she was given a diagnosis of anterior intermediate uveitis with cystoid macular edema treated with the addition of oral steroids. But when she presented to us, her redness and watering had subsided, but the deterioration of vision was still continuing and she was still on steroids. Past medical history and personal history were unremarkable. Systemic examinations were within normal limit. So vision was 6/60 in the right and 6/6 in the left. The anterior segment was normal except for a few keratic precipitates in the right eye, and the IOP was a 16 and 14, right and left respectively. Vitreous cells were seen in the right eye. Now, posterior segment evaluation did reveal 3 linear encapsulated foreign bodies in the temporal retina with underlying areas of retinal edema and a fibrous band which was extending from the superior temporal foreign body. There was an dull appearance of the macula and foveal reflex was absent. So we went on to further probe as we had a suspicion of caterpillar hair induced uveitis. And yes, there was a history of fall of caterpillar in the right eye 18 months back, and there were multiple hair removed from the conjunctiva and cornea over the six sittings, but there was no history of any setae removal from the anterior chamber. So we redid the examination. We did a complete good lid eversion and a gonioscopy. There was no additional setae found. Did a USG. Unfortunately, we do not have a picture here. There were high spike echoes corresponding to the location of the foreign body. UBM, unfortunately, was not done in our case. And the 3D OCT of this patient 4 months prior to the presentation did reveal the macular edema of 428 with cystic spaces, which on presentation to us had increased by 182 microns. And there was also an increase in the cystic spaces while the patient was still on steroids. So we took the patient up for lens-sparing pars plana vitrectomy for the removal of the caterpillar hair under 23 gauge pars plana vitrectomy. So this is a 4-week follow-up 3D OCT. It did show a slight decrease in the macular edema, and this is the final the final follow-up that we had last year. That was a 2-year follow-up, and this showed a normalization of the macular control. She did not have any recurrence of the inflammation, and the vision was 6/9 and 6/6. So ophthalmia nodosa with vitreoretinal involvement is rare. Intraocular penetration occurs only 3.5% of the eyes, while only 2.3% cases have vitreoretinal involvement. So classification was given by Cadera et al. Here we are having a type 5 vitreoretinal involvement. Now it can either enter through the anterior chamber iris lens or transscleral. Ours had a translens because there was no setae in the lens or the anterior chamber or the iris. Now it may cause vitritis, cystoid macular edema, papillitis. So reports of intraocular setae with subsequent reactivation and late migration and late worsening, all of them are there. Now the migration may take even months to years, and they may lead to vitritis or frank endophthalmitis. The treatment can vary from steroids to vitreoretinal surgery. So delayed inflammatory response to setae is due to the gradual migration posteriorly, sharp and fine hair with unilateral barbs are the cause, and the toxicity is due to the toxin which is released from the venom glands which cause inflammation. So the patient education and regular follow-up, even after the removal of anterior segment setae, is important. And early diagnosis followed by the removal of the hair can play a role in preventing the loss of the eye secondary extensive recurrent inflammation caused by toxicity. Thank you.
One to find out the ciliary body involvement, because it's quite common in that one. We have reported UVM and quite long back in a patient in
2000.
In American Journal of Ophthalmology. After some biomicroscopy of caterpillar hair in uveitis, into which presented as intermediate uveitis. So the ciliary body is one of the area which it tends to involve.
Yeah, that was a very nice paper and well presented. The only thing I wanted to ask you, what was the minimum time to a bounce back to 6/9 vision from the time that you did a vitrectomy? You showed a follow-up at 2 years.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
When did it first occur? I mean,
Ma'am, it took almost 8 months
okay.
for her to completely recover, and we had kept her on low dose steroids for quite some time. It was almost till 8 months she was on steroids.
Any anti-VEGFs given?
No, ma'am, no anti-VEGFs given.
Okay.
Just steroids.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any intraocular triamcinolone used during surgery or
So we do
after
not
the
use.
vitrectomy?
No, sir, we did not use Oracort. We did Oracort free, but we have kept the patient on oral steroids, so no intraocular steroids used.
So do you think any role of this, because it is a
It
unilateral
would have
case?
helped.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
sir.
unilateral
It would have helped the patient because the patient was phakic. So we thought not to give intraocular steroids. We were doing a lens sparing vitrectomy. So we thought let's try with the oral steroids and see if it resolves.
Okay, thank you. Did you given any antibiotic intraocular or systemic?
So systemic antibiotic we usually give after every operation. So that was the it was a normal systemic antibiotic, ciprofloxacin. Otherwise, we're not giving any antibiotic. Like it's not unusual, like just a post-operative regular antibiotic.
So you tell that you have given low dose steroid for around 3 months, I think, or more
No,
than
sir.
that.
So more than that, it was up till 8 months she was on one tablet of steroids. Like it was tapered very slowly. It was tapered from 6 tablets. It was tapered to one tablet for almost 8 months.
Why you did that? Because you are getting some reaction inside, or
yes, sir. Because the macular edema had not resolved up till 8 months. It was still there. So then we had to give her, we had to continue giving, and also we were inspecting for any additional foreign bodies because we had done a thorough inspection. We had done a scleral indentation on it, but there are still reports that there may be some foreign body, some setae which may show late penetration into the posterior segment. So we were looking at that and we were trying to avoid any inflammation.
So what do you think the pathophysiology behind this inflammation? It is purely a mechanical one or some toxin released from the caterpillar?
Venom glands, because each caterpillar hair has a venom gland, and also because of there are two things. One is the mechanical and one is the chemical reaction. So the venom glands are very important. They are the things which are causing all the toxicity and the inflammation that is associated with the caterpillar hair. And also they have this tendency of always going in the eye, inside the eye, because of that unidirectional spike that they have. So even if they're broken, but they'll still go inside.
So what do you think antidote for that kind of venom? Did you find anything in research for that? Because we don't want to continue the steroids that much.
So we have one paper where Asher, he did a YAG laser to the to destroy the caterpillar hair, not to migrate, but I'm not sure about the venom part. He did
Okay.
YAG lasers to the caterpillar hair so that it would be destroyed and not move into, like it would not penetrate into the eye, but not for venom.
Okay. Okay.